I'm gonna wait and see if anybody's up. I'm sitting on the other side of the room. I'm usually sitting on that side of the living room. I'm gonna sit on this side of the living room tonight. Oh, you know what? I need to redo the glass on my iPhone. Is cracked on the front, and I just found. Oh no, that's not that thing. Oh yeah, I got this for that. I might get it for that. I might get it for that reason. It might be in that box. I'll look and see. Hey Tanya, what's up? Can you hear me okay? Hey Flatbed, what's up, people? Can y'all hear me okay? Let me know y'all can hear me. All right, good deal. Where'd Tanya go? I saw 2 people in and it went to 1. I don't know where Tanya was in here. Tanya, you still in here? Okay, she might have got kicked. Okay, you can hear me. Okay, good. Because it showed you so too. We'll give it a few minutes. How you ladies doing? If y'all hear that beeping in the background, that's the microwave. I put something in it a while ago and I need to go in there and heat it up again. Doing okay. I start the new job October 17th. It's been a little bit of a wait in getting that, but I think this is the best move. Me in the transportation industry, I'm burnt out. I'm burnt out. So yeah, I start October 17th. So that's 2 weeks away. So I had some very good friends that helped me with some bills here in the last couple of months with the up and down and trying to go back possibly in the busing and then going to the whole light rail thing that fell apart. And then, like I said, I met somebody and boom. Yeah, I do. I grab. Matter of fact, I got 2 tickets. I probably need to check tomorrow. Lord knows if I look. I told a bunch of my friends because I got 4 friends that really helped me out with this month and last month. Really helped me rent. Things are still tight, but they have helped me out tremendously. I still got a couple bills, and I'm just like, okay, Lord, we're gonna have to figure it out because may have to borrow a little cash for that. But God is making a way. But rent's paid for last month. I just paid rent for this month. Although the blessing is I don't have big rent. So like most people across the country, they paying, unless you're in a really, really little town, they paying like 14, 15 or more $100 a month. I only pay I paid $700 last month. My rent jumped $60. So 760 is what it jumped to in October. So for this month was 760, which is nothing. So now all I got left is light and gas. My gas bill is really cheap. Lights, obviously, electricity has gone up all around the country. So that's going to be a chunk of change. But look, if I have to borrow it, I'll borrow it. But it'll get taken care of. God will make a way. He's made a way so far. And I'm blessed because what I did is I had a sense of things. Let me see. We got 4 people in here. Guys, if y'all coming in, give it a like. Share it out if you like it. That always helps the channel. Granted, it takes about 6 months for me to get any kickback because I don't have a huge channel, but I always like to be me. I'm not trying to do things to be somebody else. I'm gonna be me. You got some people who own here and they use this. I mean, it's their main income. And granted, if you can be yourself and this be your income, that's a blessing. But if you got to be somebody else, it's just not my character. It's not who I am. I'm gonna be me. So, but as I say, the utilities are going up all across the country, especially on electricity. So like my electricity last year, if I paid $100 in the summer months, I'd be shocked. This year, I'm just around $150 a month for the hottest summer months that we've had. And I'm very conservative on my air. As a matter of fact, I'm so conservative, I think the company we have out here, we have a couple. We have Salt River Project. I'm not with them. I've had them before. And then we have Arizona Public Service? APS. We call it APS. I think it's Arizona Public Service, whatever. And that's who I have. And they've gone up, but they put me, I guess they sent me a letter saying that they chose me or chose my account and my apartment in comparison to some other, I guess that they were doing analyzing. So my usage is being used in like a group of people that they randomly chose. Oh, I'm sitting on the other side of the room. That's the TV behind me. And that's the Roku screensaver. So they randomly chose they randomly chose people, some accounts, and I was one of the accounts they randomly chose for whatever their purposes are. And they compare my usage with this other group. So they send me like reports, and it kind of shows where your usage is in conjunction with, I'm presuming from what I read in the letter, probably apartments my size. Um, I like I said, I have some blessings in this apartment being here in Arizona. Got what we call sleep boogers in my eye, and I've been awake. Being here in Arizona, I have my apartment. This apartment is old. It's like 1950ish, is what I'm estimating. I'm gonna estimate this apartment is maybe just under 700 square feet. It's not huge. The walls connecting my neighbors are concrete. The walls outside are block, I think block concrete mixed or whatever. And then the internal walls are sheetrock because I could nail nails. Like these are hung up by nails. I would either have to get a drill bit to drill in a nail or something in there to hang anything on the wall on this other side of the room, because those are concrete walls and I can't, nailing is just gonna chop out, chunks of concrete. Let's see here. You said things tight there too. Yeah, I do, flatbed. I do lottery tickets. So even though I'm Christian, I know some people are like, "Oh, don't know." I grab a lottery ticket. I don't know. I grab one. What did I grab? I grab usually Powerball and Mega Millions. And I told a group of friends, at least the friends who helped me, I told them, and I got some other people, if I ever hit that kind of money, one, I would never. I'm somebody who would not. I bless other people. So I'm not somebody who's going to go and buy a big house. Venmo. No, I don't have Venmo. I do Cash App, and I haven't set up, there's another one you can set up. I haven't. Only one I have is Cash App. That's the one that I mainly have. Apple Pay and Cash App. Those are the two that I have. I don't have Venmo. Cash App, if you guys want to ever donate to the channel, Cash App is listed in the link. So I do have Cash App. I didn't put my Apple Pay on there, but I do have Apple Pay. I guess I should put it on there. I haven't done that. I've been thinking about, I'm looking for about 1 million. Flatbed, let's talk for a minute. This is a good subject. I'm going to talk about some other subjects too, but this is a good subject. So, and I'm feeling you. So for me, granted, you get that kind of money, I would not, I would do a big tithe. And I tithe it to some organizations and maybe some churches that I felt were flowing the way I felt they should flow by what I led, by what I sensed in my spirit. Then I would bless people. So like my best friend, she and her husband her husband has retired, but she would be fully retired. Her house would get paid off. And I would just, for her, she's very good with money. So I'll just give her chunk of money because she's never going to ask me for anything, although she's helped me. For my buddy Joe came into money under his sister. So he really is already a millionaire. He doesn't need any money, but I would give him a chunk because he has helped also. So I would probably give him, he doesn't need like 1 million, but I would give him a chunk of change, like a thank you and just a chunk of change. Here you go, thanks. Probably double whatever he's helped me with, and that's a thank you. He doesn't need 1 million. I can already tell you that. He don't need 500, he doesn't need 100,000, and nor would I give him that because he doesn't need it. He already has. Right now he's trying to sell a commercial property for over 1 million. So he doesn't need any of that. My friend Linda, she is living in her family home. And what I would do for her is I would say, you do not need to work again. And I would help her with whatever remodeling costs she would need for her family home. And then I would set a chunk of change up for her. She's also very good with money. And I would do that. I have another friend of mine who's a flight attendant. She has helped me in numerous times. When I bought my first house and I was short on my down payment, she spotted me the cash and never hounded me about it. And when I came into a bonus, I was like, boop, 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 here's your money back. So, and Sinead, cool people. So for her, I think she's probably at a time where she might want to retire. And she's been there long enough with the airlines, but I think she could. And I think she wants to buy property in Charlotte. That would be, I would say, here you go. And she has retirement. So I would tell her, what do you need? If you want to retire now, what do you need to retire? Or do you just want the property? Or both? Those are the people that I would really bless and help out. Done. Okay. Oh, and my friend Vivian, who I stayed with, who I broke the ankle and I stayed with every time I came off the truck. I would kind of hang out with her when I was in truck in school. I would hang out with them until I came back. I would probably pay off her home and help her retire as well. Yeah, see, you bless people like that. And I'm gonna tell you, sowing and reaping is true, because I believe that going through this time right now that I'm in, I sold some things. Even when I stayed with Vivian, I sold some things, maybe not to them, although back when she was in a different situation and I was making money, I just, oh girl, here, thank you, help me this, I'll here's some money, and give her some money. But I also had friends of mine who, when they got in difficult situations, they stayed with me rent free for months on end. And while what I did for them didn't come directly so back from them, it did come back. So I'm a firm believer that what you sow, you will reap. So if you sow good things, it comes back. So even coming through this little hump that I've been in, what I've sown, I believe God moved upon the hearts of other people that I reaped it back. So it's not a big issue. And like I said, it's been humbling, but it's also, some of what I'm going through has given me some time. My apartment was in total disarray. I was existing here, and I'm a very, on certain levels, I'm very neat. And I was like, I was existing and I wasn't living, because I've got a lot of stuff in here that I brought in from the storage unit. This apartment does not have the space of my last two places. So I needed to get rid of stuff. I also need to organize stuff. I still got to do my room, but right now, over here has been pretty much organized. I'm waiting for some furniture and shelving to come in, and then I have to go through a few extra things, and organize, and just everything. Once I get everything organized, get the shelves in the room and reorganize the room, the rest of the little bit of clutter, which is nothing, because Linda came by, she like, dang, you did that fast. And it really wasn't fast. It was a couple weeks, because it's like the end of the light rail was right before Labor Day. So I took that week to really just get my mind right, because I had been through so much. I did the interviews for those, for the two jobs. And then, well, no, excuse me. I did the interview for the one job, and then I did the job offer for the other job that didn't do the interview, the one that the lady referred me to, that I had worked with at one of the transit companies. So that's the one I'm going to, which is the healthcare part of it. So I'm going back into healthcare. My prayer is that eventually they let me come back to work from home. She did say that her daughter, who works for them, and somebody else, they let 47 people come back into a work from home environment, and that's my hope. Somebody else, you talking about broker as far as financial broker? You talking about a real estate broker? What kind of broker are you talking about? Because I've heard the word broker, but I know broker in the sense of like stock exchange. I don't know. I don't know enough about it, flatbed, to know anything about being a trucking broker. If it's something I could probably do from home, it might be a side hustle, because my next move is a side hustle, and that is going to be, I was going to start working on this sauce. A friend of mine has been telling me, a Christian friend of mine has been telling me, Shannon, you need to do the sauce. The Lord is just showing me you need to do that sauce. And I haven't. I've been putting it off, putting it off, putting it off. I'll look into it. I've been putting it off, putting it off, putting it off. But I really, after going through this, what I know is that I need something that I have residual income from, and have a flow of income in case situations like this happen. When you're at the mercy of other companies and you're working for them, you're at their mercy. They can let you, in Arizona, I'm a right to work state, so they can let you go for any reason. If you get sick, if you get hurt, just like when I got, was down with the fractured ankle, you're only getting like $250 or whatever it is here in Arizona a week, or whatever it was. It wasn't a lot of money just being down with a fractured ankle while you're healing. And that was 6 months. And no way, paying an apartment plus paying utilities, there's no way. I was fortunate that I was able to stay with Vivian and just recoup there. So I was down for 6 months. Hey, Kathy, what's up, baby? So I was down for like 6 months, and there's no way. So yeah, I'm been working. I'm getting ready. That's why I've been working on the kitchen, getting it all up to par, getting stuff in. Gonna try to get some stuff done. I need to. Once I start working, this phone's probably, depending on once I get bounced back, I have to get this phone upgraded. Don't think I'm going to iPhone 14, but I may go 13. I haven't decided yet. Depends on what the price is and with the trade. But I'm going to do some upgrades, and then I need to get, this stand is okay, but when I'm in the kitchen or out on the grill, I'm going to need a little bit different tripods. I need some tripods that can hang while you're cooking, because I know some people wanted me. Mad 14K, she came in one time. I haven't seen her since, but and hope she's okay. But and she actually helped kind of with this because she did a little donation, and I was able to get the tripod I have. And so she's one of the people. I also had some donations off of Facebook for some things that were blessings, and kind of got through some stuff. So the tripod I have now, because my other tripod broke, and this one came into place. So this is good. And then I got some little tiny ones. I got the 99-cent store, but I want to get the ones where you can clamp them up on something. Like I can clamp them on the stove hood. You guys watch me cook there. I can clamp them outside in a certain way, and you can see me on the grill. We're going to start going more that way. As a matter of fact, I just did some ribs for Linda, although it didn't turn out good because what I got to do is stick to my guns with people. I love folks. When I say get something to me the day before, you need to get them to me the day before, because I'll plan and sit here all day. We had to leave. She got them to me the night before. Well, she's supposed to get them to me earlier in the day. She didn't get them to me till late in the evening. I would have started them the day she got them. Instead, we had plans to go take care of some stuff, and we left, and they were on my cooker, but the flame got up. So not my typical ribs. I was pissed. They looked good when they started. They didn't look good when I got back. And we weren't gone really that long. And if they weren't slow cooked, but what happened is my flame, I wasn't here to watch the flame as much, and the smoke of the wood. And so you have to, when you're on a grill, a smoker especially, you have to control your airflow. And so I wasn't here to do that. Won't ever happen again, because I told her, next time we're going to do something, granted she was helping me out, I want to do, when I tell you, get me something the day before, you need to get it to me earlier in the day. Or, we're not going to do anything the day that I have to cook it, because it was something we were supposed to, she's going to take some home to her daughter. So she did take them, but I was like, yeah, I would have thrown them in trash. They were a little too dry for me. And when it comes to my smoked meats, I'm really, really anal about anything I cook, but smoked meats especially. Especially if I'm doing it and I'm sharing it with people. I'm really, really anal about it. But yeah. Oh, back to the lottery thing we were talking about. See, I done got on a whole nother subject. So for me, I know a lot of people, some people, they'll go out and buy big things. It's just like Monty when he came in, Grumpy when he came into the little 147, he went and bought all these $400 and $500 suits, and then he got nothing to show for it. As we get older, you should not be walking in a young person's wisdom. And when I was younger and I came into some money, when my mother's father died, I did exactly almost like Monty. I went through it very quickly. Granted, I had stuff to show for it, but in the long haul, if I would have done differently, that would be something to fall back on. I also had inherited a piece of property. And if I wouldn't have been all arrogant, granted it wasn't in the best area of town, I would have just moved in there and put a security system up and lived in there rent-free. But again, we get full of ourselves. And sometimes we don't see the big picture. So now that I've learned, and being older and wiser, because there's no fool like an old fool. You don't be an old fool, be a wise fool. Be a wise person, not an old fool. Just say be wise and not an old fool. I'm not trying not to be a fool at all. But now, if I came into that kind of money, I can already tell you I'd probably buy me a piece of property somewhere. I have a tiny home that I would have put on it. I may have more than one. I'm either going to do like an arch cabin kit, or I'd buy one of the tiny homes and have it put on there. I'd have probably a second home on there, maybe two, maybe three. And the reason I would is because I would probably have a live-in person, because I'm older now, who could help me with maintaining the property. So I would make it like a semi-homestead. Maybe not like 40 acres like some people are doing, because I'm not in the shape to maintain that now. But something where I could probably have live-in help that would work with me on the property, raised bed, gardening, everything. I would have myself as self-sufficient as possible. And I'm thinking I want to be off grid. I want water catchment systems. I want solar. So I would probably go that route. Would that be here in Arizona? I don't know. If it was here in Arizona, I'd probably be up in the mountains. Is what I'm thinking. Here in the valley, it's warm, it's hot. It would probably be a little distance, and the only two people that I really hang out here in the valley with is Joe and Linda, for the most part. And so I could come down every blue moon, or they could have them come up, but that would be my goal. And then the other thing I would do is buy me a truck and a trailer. Initially, sometimes people want the buses. I don't want the bus. I would want a vehicle that I could detach. Hey, PJ, what's up, baby? I want a truck that I could detach from my. I want a truck that I could detach from my RV, and then that way, if I stop somewhere, I could detach from the RV, and then go into the town or do whatever I'm gonna do. I'd want to be able to also make sure that my RV had solar capability, and then I would travel around, everything from traveling for sightseeing to maybe some ministry stuff. That would be my ideal of what I could do and where I would like to go forward. If I came into some money, that would be what I would do. And then I'd probably take YouTube with me and do like a lot of RVers and just go to different places. Coming out of trucking, you also know and you can go to places that aren't your typical, because there's stuff that truckers see because of where they have to travel. Sometimes they can't take the typical routes, especially for a hazmat load or weight requirements. So I've seen some stuff that most people on average may not see, because you may not always take the routes that a truck driver would take. And so you may go places that the average person doesn't go. I would probably go and do that. And for me, I do know now I'd probably buy a newer truck. The reason I'd buy a newer truck is fuel efficiency, hopefully, but also if you're going to do that, you don't want to break down. But I don't know that I would buy necessarily a brand new RV. The RVs that I tend to like, I love Airstreams. I've always liked the look of the Airstream. There is one, it would probably be newer because shower is important to me. And being big, even if I lose, a portion of this weight, I don't want to be in a little shower like this. I just don't. I see skinny folks and I'm like, that shower is small as hell. I don't want to be able, I want to be able to, Um, and I probably do a complete wet bath, because I think the wet bath idea is smart. I just put everything in one room. Some people want the separate toilet, and if you can have that, fine. But I don't also want to have a little separate toilet to where you like claustrophobic trying to go to the bathroom. And I watch RV channels, and like you got people who are in RVs talking about they don't do number two in the RVs. So every time you turn around, you stopping at a rest area or that's crazy as hell. Ooh, Texas wine country. Okay. Texas, Lubbock had wineries. Arizona has wineries. I didn't know we had wineries. We have wineries too. I didn't know until, what was that movie with Angela Bassett where she flicked the cigarette? Oh, Whitney Houston and Angela Bassett. She flicked the cigarette because she was pissed off. And that's when I first found out we had wineries. Because she was talking about a winery because a dude was cheating or something. And that's when I was like, Arizona wine. And I'm one of the people, I can watch a movie and I'll go look it up because I want to know. I'm curious. Yeah, how Stella got a groove back. That's it. Yeah. So that's when I first found out Arizona had wineries. I didn't know, but I've been to some of the wineries here. After I saw that movie, it kind of became a thing that I wanted to see it. So we have we have wineries in south of us in the Tucson area. I haven't been to those. And then we have them in north of us. Now I have been to those. So I've been to the ones up in Cornville, Arizona. We have some up in Cornville, Sedona, Oak Creek Canyon. So I've been to a couple of those. Matter of fact, owner of one of them, she took me for a tour back in the day of the barrel room and stuff. So she was totally cool because I've been there a couple different times with different people. And every time I came with some different people. So I think she thought I was bringing them. And Joe's never been. So we're going to probably when things bounce back, if depending on what happens. Because like I said, the world is in flux right now. Depending on what happens, we'll do a winery trip. And if I do it, I'll film it. Okay, I've been to New York State. New York State is gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I don't like driving the truck in New York State, but I've been to New York State. I've been to every state, exception of Alaska. I've been to every state in the U.S. in a truck. I'm trying to think if I missed a state. I don't think I missed a state. Yeah, I haven't gone to the wine, obviously, because I was in the truck. No wineries, but that's why RV would be perfect. Because also I've been watching I like to watch a lot of the RV and the what do you call them? The ones who live in the vans, the van lifers, and they go to like what they call Harvest Host, and so you can pay like a membership, and you can stay. And a lot of times they stay at wineries. so they can take their little RVs or whatever and stay at the winery as long as you buy something at the winery. So, and they have it, I guess, it's everywhere here in the U.S. and Canada. Well, I think you can go into Canada now. I don't think it's as restricted because I just watched a couple. You still have to get, I think, tested. But there was a couple. They went to go see another couple who were van lifers, and that couple's building. I think it's called Eamon and Beck, which is real popular on YouTube. So not way bigger than this channel. But Eamon and Beck, and there's another couple that went to go see them, and they're in the U.S. and they became friends in van life. And they just crossed into Canada to see her because I think she was battling cancer or something like that. I've been watching the channel for a while. So they were just able because they said they tried to go, I guess, before and now they're able. And a friend of mine, I haven't read it, but I guess there's something with some new variants. And I don't know what's going to happen. We'll see what's going to happen in winter as we're approaching it. I know they're pushing the vaccines huge. My company has loads to Alaska. I want to go. Oh, okay. Alaska would be cool in non-winter months. Happy is that look, Canada's gorgeous, but it's hills, a lot of mountains. Alaska be cool in the non-winter months. But I remember when I first got into trucking and used to watch what's that, where they did the Alaskan truckers or whatever, child by God bless them. They should be them folks should be making some big money for that madness. Yeah, okay, if you say so. It look cold as hell. And when the lake froze over and the ice road truckers, that was it. Man, and they was driving them trucks over I was like, I be praying for them. I'm like, ooh, ooh. Anywho, what else I want to talk about? Trying to think what else, y'all. Oh, the asteroids. So y'all know my mind. My mind works really weird. So, and let me go back. Let me make sure I'm stopping. Let me go back and look at it and see if anybody brought anything up. Okay, I see Tanya's in here. Flatbed, we already talked. Flatbed. Got you. Let's see here. PJ's in here. PJ, you didn't say how you doing, baby. So last time I brought the topic up, and I thought it was a good topic, and I want to thank, I forgot the young lady's name, who joined the channel, and she made the comments that they wouldn't post from YouTube about Trump. Why? I don't know why, because to me it wasn't offensive. She just said what other folks think, and it's not been anything secret, especially among the African American community, of what they think of him. So she just said what she felt. While I might not agree with everything she said, I get it and then some. But like I said, I don't hate the man. I actually, like I said, I feel sorry for him because he's damaged. The brother's damaged. He's just messed up. As all of us have something, but he's more messed up than most. Monty was a compulsive liar, and so is he. They do it. I think part of their narcissistic behavior. I think it's also to stroke the ego. Male ego is very interesting to me. I sit and watch. I watch women, and I love my best friend, and because I had to watch it. She's not the only one, and her husband is a man. Don't ever get it twisted. I like her husband. He is a man. How he's handled everything. That brother's a man. And so she has right to say she got a man. But I notice, and maybe I never dated guys, but I notice that when I watch women who are with males, and I guess it's to build them up, it's something in the psychology of it that they know they need to do. I've watched how they stroke their dudes' egos. Like they make this dude like he's Superman. They build him up. It's weird to me. I just noticed that. It was something I noticed. And my best friend did it one time, and I said, and I told her, I said, don't take offense, because you got a man, you got the right to do that. But I noticed every female, hey Tiffany, what's up, baby? I noticed that a lot of females do that. A lot of females do that. And I'm like, I just, it's weird to me, but also it bothers me because it says to me, wait a minute, dude, you a guy and you don't have enough wherewithal to have some confidence in yourself. I'm not in one of those like everybody's selfie and all about self, but I do believe you should have some confidence in who you are. Girl, thank you, flatbed. Because my thing is, you should have confidence in who you are. It's like I tell people, I know I'm fat. Fat is the problem. Confidence is not. To me, just being an overweight woman doesn't mean you have to have low self-esteem. Being somebody who's short don't mean you have to have low self-esteem. But it's just like little men. Little men, they call them, they have little man syndrome. You know, they do. They have like a little man syndrome. And so the Napoleon complex. And so they have to be more than what it is to kind of make up for the fact they're short. Whereas to me, you shouldn't have to. If you have confidence in who you are, just have confidence in it. Don't get all caught up in being fat, short, in between, over and under. Just have confidence in who you are. And because I have confidence in who God is, I already have confidence in who I am. So I don't believe that you should have low self-worth. Shine, what's up, baby? Welcome to the channel. You said idolatry. What do you mean in the word idolatry? Help me out with that. And if you talk about idols where people worship themselves, I'm not meaning it in that context. Because a lot of times what happens with individuals, and I don't know if that's what the context, Shine's new to the channel. I don't know if in context to that, but oftentimes I believe that people, and I don't want to say, because there's a difference between how can I put it? You got people who are so selfie, they're like their own little deities, not meaning it in that context. So let me see if I can do this. If you're trained at a job and you're good at a job, you should be confident that you do a good job, which means I do a good job. I know I'm a good worker. That to me is not arrogance. That's just facts. I work hard. I'm a very good worker. Does that mean I'm the best worker in the building? Not necessarily, but not necessarily not. You might be. You might not be. But if you bring in your best game to the table, be confident in that. It's the same thing to me with being yourself. If you're yourself, you know, we all have areas to work on. That's the part of being imperfect human beings. But if you're being yourself, then be confident in that. You shouldn't need other people to stroke your ego to feel value. And as Christians, our value, first of all, is in our relationship with God. Okay. But then on top of that he enables me to do the things I do. So I should be able to be confident in that. That's why it says let's say is it your gifts will make room for you? So basically, certain things that you have innate make room for you. They open up doors for you if you walk in them. And that's part of the confidence part. But we have some people, and especially in this newer generation, hold on. Oh, hold on. I'm trying to see here. I worked in mail. Come on. That's not what I want. I'm trying to make this go up. I worked in men don't get compliments. So when they do get them, it kind of makes them feel high. Okay. These women, hold on. These women treat their men like gods. Well, Shine, you bring up a very interesting conversation. So this is something, this was not where I was going. We are going to get into other topics, but let me open this up. So you bring up something interesting because what I do realize is that and okay, so first of all, let's back up. Something I had to realize a long time ago is again, coming out of the whole gay lifestyle stuff and going more the Christian route, I realized that I thought I hated men. And it wasn't that I hated men, it was that I hated males. There's a difference. So because I'm a molest victim, I have an outlook when it comes to males. And so it wasn't that I hated men, it was that I hated males. And what God had to show me was there's a difference between a grown man and a grown male. There's a difference between a grown woman and a grown female. We got a lot of grown females right now, especially, God forgive me, for y'all who watching me who are younger, for you 40 and unders. I'm just saying, even in my generation, we do too. But we got, with this new generation, it's like a plethora of, of grown males and females. What that means is that you're an adult as far as age, but you're not a man or a woman. Example, my biological father, he was a grown male. He wasn't a grown man. we use the term man and woman very loosely. And I didn't realize that until later. So when Sean brings up this point that women treat their men like gods, I think they treat grown males like that. And a lot of times it's because they don't have a man. So you're stroking oftentimes, sometimes, the ego of grown little boys, because that grown little boy wants affirmation. There is an old saying that a lot of women do not raise their sons, especially single moms, to be men. They raise them as if they were their man, so if they were their dude. So unfortunately, that same behavior of coddling grown adults is what you do with your son. Therefore, when a woman or a female gets this dude, you got a grown little boy and you're stroking ego to try to build him up to be what you want him to be, or what he wants to be, or what you want him to think he is. It's the weirdest thing. And when I watch it, I've seen it I've seen it with siblings and their spouses. And I'm like, this is the most interesting crap I've ever seen. It's very interesting. Very, very interesting. And it's unfortunate, but that's, yeah, well, it shouldn't even be for his mom. That's the problem. But the other problem is mothers, like I said, mothers are raising their sons as if they're their man. So that's one, you're coddling him instead of letting him be a man or learn. But the problem is a woman wasn't meant to raise a man. A man needs to have an impact on another man. And because we have so many, and in the black community, it's really bad. We have so many absentee fathers. And even if the father is in the house, oftentimes that father may not even be a man. He just may be a grown male. You know, God forbid, I'm very happy I didn't grow up with Monty. Um, and honestly, I see when he died, I definitely, amongst the siblings and among the brother in prison, I see where him not being a father was a huge detriment, and not only to them, but to all of us, because he didn't have it in him. He was not he biologically fathered some children, but he did not know how to be a father or a man, especially to his sons. But also a daughter needs to see a man too. She needs to know what to bring into her life. And so it's like I do have some friends who are men, and they've taken their daughter on what they call a daddy-daughter date. That's amazing, because what you're doing is showing your daughter this is how you should be treated. This what this ninja should do. And if he don't treat you like this, then you got probably a grown little boy. You don't have a man. And so it's like my best friend, when I talk about her, her father was a man. I met her dad. Her dad was a man. So what did she marry? She married a man. Let me give you an example. And she's a perfect example. Her husband, so he was a postman in Florida. She works for a pest control company. And what he did, every time he would buy the cars for the household. He bought the first car he bought, which was a brand new car. She drove it. Okay, there's a difference between a boy and a man. Okay, let me show you the difference. They argue about, well, you got it, and knowing that she's gonna drive it. Why? Because a man says, I want my wife to be safe. And the safest vehicle is the newest vehicle, which will most likely not have the other problems. However, a boy, he wants to floss. I'm cool up in the new ride. Difference between a grown male and a grown man. When he bought the next car, he gave her the new car. He took the old car. And then eventually, this is the difference of a man, when the daughter was able to drive, he passed down the used car, the oldest used car, to the daughter, but made sure that it was fully mechanically sound, because she's in high school. Because you don't really want to give a high school person a brand new ride, right? But he wanted to make sure it was mechanical because she's his daughter. But his wife gets a new car, and he drives the middle of the road car, the one that's the one in the middle. Every time he bought a new car, he gave it to his wife, my best friend, and he drives the old one. Grown males, especially grown black males, a lot of them want to floss in the new car, and the wife drive whatever. Okay, if she drive, that's fine. She got the kids. She can drive whatever. I'm gonna floss in this car, that car, and look good in it. That's a grown male, not a grown man. And it's just an action that I've noticed. And that's a small example, but like I said, some people we got little boys. And I don't believe ego stroking is for your mom either. I believe in instilling wisdom and values into you to be a man or to be a woman. Like I have problems with boys who don't do dishes, boys who don't cook. Every child in the house, I don't care what your gender is, male or female, you need to be in that kitchen and learn how to cook, how to wash, how to clean. The daughter don't do the clothes and she cook and you don't know how to cook. That's amazing to me. It's amazing to me for a girl not to know how to cook, but it's really amazing to me. All three of us that were under my mother, we all can cook. Both my brothers can cook, I can cook. Because you had to cook. It just is amazing to me. Or the dude that don't clean the house. He don't wash the clothes. Oh, I'm just going to empty the trash and sit on the chair and look. That's a girl's job. No, my ninja. No, bro. You need to get your fuel and get up in there and do what you got to do. I cannot. It's insanity to me. So Shine, to that point, and I don't know what you meant by idolatry, so let me know what you meant by the idolatry. So I don't want to be on here forever because I do want to tell y'all, because some things, and y'all know my mind works. See, y'all get me on subjects, I'll start talking. I don't know how many of y'all watched, and I watched the news. There's a couple of things. So one is the asteroid. I bring this up because it's been on my mind. And some of y'all might not be there with me, but it's been on my mind, okay? So the asteroid, this is what's getting me. I don't know if y'all saw this big asteroid. And so my Christian folks will enjoy this. Some of y'all who ain't Christian, y'all might enjoy it. So just follow my bouncing ball. NASA has a satellite. And they decide to take this satellite and to shove it into this asteroid that's all the way out in Timbuktu. And I think explode it to see whether or not they could either break the asteroid or push the asteroid so that they could test whether if an asteroid came close to Earth, they could push it off course from hitting the planet. I need to know why now. Now, I have Christian views on why now, but it's just something in my mind. I need to know why now, okay? Now, I have my own Christian views on this. And I know some Christian things biblically, prophetically, that are supposed to happen. And I'm kind of wondering if they're seeing something out there because I found it very interesting. So I don't know if y'all remember when Trump was in office, he formed, Space Force, okay? And I don't think it was just him. I think this was something that was in the works because it happened relatively fast of when he got into office. He was, I think, one of the first major groups that he formed. So y'all can go look up Space Force. Again, people, I'm really analytical, so I've been watching a lot of the news. Obviously being Christian and seeing how all things are converging to what we consider the wrap-up of time, because there is a mesh of things happening. The war in Ukraine, possible nuclear war, Putin tripping, financial issues, not only here in the U.S., but in other countries. And if you watch right now what's going on in England or Europe, over in the U.K., you can see what we're probably going to be going through as well, based on them trying to handle inflationary stuff or whatever they're talking about that has caused more hiccups and more problems. Go watch that. What else? I'm trying to think what else has been on. There's been a lot. So I'm one who watches all of that because I'm looking at it all from a Christian perspective, because Bible tells us that the things that are happening right now and when God returns for us, it shouldn't take us unaware. We should be very aware of it because there's enough signs going on all around us to show us that these times are wrapping up. So Space Force was formed, and I said to a friend of mine, haven't you wondered why all of a sudden, I'm 54 years old. Why all of a sudden out the clear freaking blue would our government form Space Force? Now, Space Force is, from my understanding, kind of a defensive thing in order to possibly battle things like asteroids, just so you know. And things that they feel might hit the Earth, just so you know. And all of a sudden this is formed, and then you have NASA, who Like I said, I'm 54. I remember watching the spaceships go up. I remember when the spaceship that had the teacher in it blew up while I was in high school, and which was very sad. I remember that, but I don't ever remember anything about battling asteroids. So I found this interesting because I know most people, we live in our bubble, which is what bothers me because people don't ask questions and people don't think beyond the box of their house. And I'm like, you ain't going to be prepared. And then when stuff happens that's really crazy and bad, you're going to be like upset about it because you're going to be like sitting there like Boo Boo Kitty because you've been living in your little bubble. So I'm like, why ain't people asking questions about this? Just in your head thinking something the heck ain't right. Now, like I said, I have my own view of it, and I'll share some of that for the Christian folks who have any kind of background in prophecy. You'll may understand or know about what I'm saying. If not, please feel free to research it. So, because of the times we're in, and we do think time is very short among a lot of us in Christendom, there are some things that are supposed to happen to help wrap up time. One of them is an asteroid known as wormwood. This thing is supposed to hit the planet, and it's going to take out a lot of folk. It's going to do a lot of damage. I'm wondering if they're not already seeing it. And man wants to be his own God and believes he can save himself like Independence Day. He does. I'm going to save myself like Independence Day. And so I'm wondering if man thinks I can take this little satellite against this big old object. Because if y'all saw what I saw, I was like, okay, I don't know. Maybe you'll be successful with that. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it. And like I said, they might have been successful. I haven't followed it to find out if they pushed it off course at all or if it broke off a piece. I don't know. And it's supposed to be so many years away. But look at things and weigh them in perspective, y'all. Okay? And the reason I say weigh those things in perspective is we got to have a bigger picture. A lot of folks, oftentimes, you're looking at things and you're taking them at either face value or you don't want to deal with them. That's the other issue. And I don't want to deal with it because then if I have to deal with it, I have to admit maybe there's something bigger than me. And I don't want to really deal with that right now because I want to just keep doing what I'm doing. I'm do you, boo-boo. But I think I would like to be a little more aware of the things that are around me so I could make necessary choices. Whether that's you want to build a bunker or whether you want to get ready on other levels. So I just thought that was interesting. If you guys can go look at it. But NASA did this thing to try to move this big old asteroid. And I'm just going to tell y'all can look up that and then go look up a word called wormwood. Oh, Flatbed, you got cell phone? I don't watch. So for me, when I do news, So my thing is so you see behind me, that's Roku. And I don't watch like the regular TV stations here, even though you see antennas behind me. I can get regular TV here in Arizona. I don't have cable TV. I don't have satellite TV. I don't pay for that. I do all web TV. I actually do like YouTube for this much. They have something where you can choose a different news station. So I prefer NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt. I like it because it's a snapshot. I get it through YouTube and I watch it. There's other news that I watch. I watch Sky News, which gives me some information there. I read things from other countries like Jerusalem. And like when COVID hit, I started reading things going on in Jerusalem. I looked up stuff for Africa. I looked up stuff in Japan and China. There were things that I looked up in order to kind of read through because I want to be aware. One of the things that I have is a pet peeve, and I'm gonna tell y'all a joke, but it's true at the same time. I just was telling Linda this. So my friend Linda and Joe, neither of them really watch the news like I do. And Joe used to, but Joe's gotten away because Joe is somebody who doesn't like a lot of negativity. And to him, if it's something it's too heavy for him. And I look at it differently. See, I don't look at it as negative. Well, it is negative in some senses, but I don't look at it in that way. I can kind of weigh out and say this is information for me to be aware of. So to me, it's warnings. If you watch things, then you're not caught unaware. So, like right now, if I didn't watch what's going on with the inflation, with prices of groceries, with stuff that they're saying in the news, then I would just have been oblivious and just going on my day to day and maybe being like the average person and getting only a week's worth of food or 2 weeks worth of food. That's not smart. And the Bible even talks about how the ants save up. Okay. So that's not the smartest move. Well, because I have stocked and stored like I did starting, well, I started having dreams in the early part of the pandemic, and maybe it's due to that. I don't believe that. I believe mine are kind of, God gives me real weird warning dreams. It's been like that even before the pandemic. And my dreams are very symbolic. So because I was doing that, when I hit this little financial crunch, bills need to be paid on the place. But honestly, the only food I needed, fresh food, and then my garden done better, which I'm getting ready to work on again, see if I can get my fall winter garden working. Had my garden, because Arizona you can grow year round. Had my garden worked the way it would, I wouldn't even have to go to the grocery store. I could do everything out the garden. That was the goal. I've got some things I need to change. I'm gonna have to get some stuff to fight the lizards, them little ninjas. Tomato hornworm hit me too. So I'm going to have to change some things up going into summer of next year. If God willing, I'm here or we're still here. And then I've got to change some things up coming for the winter crop. So I've got a drip system over there. I got to install. I might work on that sometime between this weekend and next weekend, because next weekend is that's my last weekend before I start working the new job. So then I'll only have weekends off, which is fine. But I'm trying to think how best to put this. I believe you should be aware. Grumpy had a saying that his dad told him, and this is, I'm gonna say it like he said it. He said his dad told him, you need to watch the news, because if they say run, ninja run, and y'all know the word ain't ninja, then you know you need to be running. Because if you ignorant and folks, you don't know what's going on, then you don't know when you need to run, ninja run. And so as I've gotten older, there's a lot of wisdom. While it's funny, there's a lot of wisdom in what his father said, because we need to be aware. And a lot of times in this new generation of humans, in this new world we're in, COVID has been so heavy that people are like, I can't take anymore. I don't want to hear anything else negative. I'm going to stick my head in the sand. I'm going to make myself happy. Joy. And I hate this because it's all new agey. I'm going to practice gratefulness, and I'm going to practice intentionality, and I'm a child by. You better be aware, and I'm going to practice, Lord, thank you for today. And give me wisdom and discernment. That's what we're going to practice today. And so for me, when I look at the news, to me, it's to be aware, and it's also to not let the times take me by surprise. I believe next year, a lot of people are going to be caught it's going to catch them in surprise because they chose not to pay attention. And economically, things are not going to get better. It's going to be worse. If you guys notice, the gas prices are going right back up again. The cost of going in the grocery store, I was in there, me and Linda went the other day, and when we went in, I think it was $8 for some cream cheese. I can tell you, when I remember cream cheese, you can get it for sometimes 99 cents or $1, $2. I ain't never paid $8 for I never paid $8 for cream cheese. But cream cheese, she bought some bagels, and the cream cheese was like $7 for the small and $9 for the big, $8.99. I was like, what the Sam? I just introduced her to some of the Latino stores here in Arizona, and a lot of your international stores, which you usually sometimes get produce a lot cheaper and in sometimes better quality. So I introduced her to one of the Latino stores here, and we went in. They had avocados. Was it 33 cents each? Was it 33 cents each? No. I think it's 3 for $1, 4 for $1, something like that. So got avocados. Avocados can be pricey. Granny Smith. I love apples. My favorite apple is Granny Smith. So they had Granny Smiths on sale. Got some of those. The key limes that a lot of times you use for Latino food or any food, that's 99 cents for a little bag of them, which was a lot in a bag. So you could get, and they have really good aromas. So in cilantro, stuff like that, two for $1. And when she got in, she's like, "Oh my God, this is so clean." Yeah, so don't get it twisted because it's a Latino grocery store. Now there's some of them that ain't even owned by Latinos that market to Latinos as nasty. But this one is owned by some Latino folks, and they keep that store relatively, extremely clean. She like, I'm going back. She's like, the prices. I said, I told her she never been, because we get in habits of stuff, and so I like introducing people to wisdom, and so that's some wisdom in it. And I shop the sale ads too. I'm a sale ad shopper. There's a lot, and because of that, I don't need a lot right now. I even have shelf stable milk. If milk is too high, I go back in my room, pop out, and granted, it's not. I don't do regular dairy, but it's either coconut milk or oat milk, whatever, shelf stable. So I just go. It's like what they use at coffee shops sometimes. It's a square box, top the lid, boom, it's milk. I mean, it might not be as good as the cold, but it serves its purpose. It's not, I can deal with it. And you put it in the refrigerator, it's the same. We need to be aware. You need to be aware of what's going on. There was another one I want to talk about real quick, and then I'll be off here because it's almost an hour. And this is real quick. And it was done by CNN. You guys can just pull it up. It was called, it's for my Christian folk and non-Christian if they want to do it, Rapture Anxiety. Girl, it's your friend. The international markets and the Latino markets, them is your friends for cheap vegetables and stuff you need. But this last article was an article by CNN, and actually it was a YouTube channel that brought it up. And then I don't always trust stuff I see, so I'm one who will go read it and go find it. So they're talking about rapture anxiety. And I'm going to say this and apologize at the same time for Christian folks and Christian ministers. The article, when I read it, what they were saying was that there were people who grew up in Christian churches, and they were taught about the rapture, but the way in which the rapture was taught, it caused them to have a fear. And so they always felt this guilt feeling that if you weren't a certain way, didn't act a certain way, you messed up, then you would get left behind here and you would be in this horrible, horrific situation. And while that is actually, no offense on the laugh, very true, you will be left here if you ain't got your relationship right. Relationship right with the Lord doesn't mean perfection. It just means you're in relationship and you allow him to work with you in that relationship and grow. But the rapture should not be something that's feared. If you miss it, that's not a good thing. But if you make it, it should be something you anticipate as a good thing and a reward for a good relationship with the Lord. That doesn't mean working, because Christianity is not about works. It's about relationships. You get better as God gives you instruction. There's things that happen. You're not going to stop cussing overnight. There's many things that we have strongholds in. I'm fat still. There's different things you have strongholds in. Does that mean that I'm not in relationship? No, because the relationship with God is based on grace. It's not based on works. There's other religions that make it off of works. Christianity is not based on that. So when I read the article, there were people that had almost like a PTSD when they talked about this rapture anxiety that these folks had. And I was like, wow, that's weird. But at the same time, when I thought back to how it was taught in the church, no, I get it. I get that, one, it's not explained. And instead of maybe treating it as a punishment if you don't make it, maybe we should talk about the plus of making it to avoid the madness. It's going to be madness. It don't mean that you still can't be saved. You can be saved if you get left behind here. It's just going to be a lot of madness and extreme craziness. And it's going to be sad for people who are left behind here. But at least you know the truth, and you still have an opportunity to not bust hell wide open. I mean, that's the only way I can put it. I can't put it any nicer. But I think the way that it's explained and not explained, and it sounded to me also like a lot of people weren't taught what it was. And people are like, oh, rapture is not in the Bible. The word rapture, absolutely, it is not. That word is not taught. The word comes from, I think it's rapturo, which is Latin version of it. And then I think the Hebrew or Greek is when you see it's like harpazo, which means snatching away up. But there's enough scripture in there that talks about the church being taken away. He's going to come back. There's enough places. There should be no question. Throughout the Bible, it's mentioned in several places. Paul talked about it. Jesus talked about it. John talked about it in several places. So for folks who maybe a church didn't teach you, because a lot of people have a lot of confusion around it. And all I'm going to tell you is there's enough now between just reading and pulling up and enough knowledge out there, enough material out there. You should be able to get this for yourself and understand it. But any questions you got, guys, put it down in the comment box, and I will definitely see if I can answer it. I could even get on here and share more details on it. But I read that, and that's just something that was on my mind when I saw that in a CNN article, and I saw a YouTube video about it, which is what sparked me going to find the article. And I was like, wow, people have almost a PTSD about getting taken out of here and not left behind during wars and natural disasters and a one world government and one buying and selling, and you're having PTSD. I'm thinking, hey, I want the first boat out. What do I need to do that? I ain't got no PTSD. I just want to make sure I got my crap, my crap correct. I want to miss the madness. That's how I look at it. So like I said, I believe that maybe it hasn't been taught right, and maybe how we look at it should be looking at it through a different set of glasses. Anyway, let me go and look at these notes, and then we're going to get out of here. Okay, I think I hit everything because everybody. Anyway, y'all, that's it for tonight. I don't know. I might do something Wednesday or Sunday. Y'all got any comments or thoughts about something to talk about? Let me know. Give us a like, thumbs up, share it out. 2 and 2. Peace.